The WorldGBC was the vision of David Godfrey, who had founded the USGBC a decade earlier. 20 years ago, in 2002, he convened representatives from 8 established and prospective green building councils at the first Green Build in Austin, Texas. There they discussed how to accelerate the market for sustainability in the global property industry. David scheduled the WorldGBC's inauguration at that event because it was the first one with international participants. The 8 councils present at that meeting were Australia, Brazil, Canada, India, Japan, Mexico, Spain, and USA. And the result was the formation of the World Green Building Council. Our founding chair was Che Wall of Australia, who held that position until 2007. These leaders saw the potential of green buildings as a holistic approach that could deliver value globally across the triple bottom line: environmental, social, and economic benefits. We incorporated the WorldGBC following our next meeting, which was in Watsons Bay, Sydney, Australia, in October 2003. During the early years, we also met in San Francisco, Hyderabad, India, and Monterrey, Mexico. Our movement looked a little different back then. And while we didn't know exactly how we'd get there, our hearts were set on an ambitious global vision. The next few years were a time of tremendous growth. All of the development work was done by a small but dedicated and feisty team of volunteers. New organizational groups were formed that later became councils: Taiwan, China, UAE, Panama, Costa Rica, Guatemala, Germany, UK, Nigeria, and others. We developed multinational corporate partnerships that supported both the WorldGBC and individual country councils, including Carrier, UTC, and the Confederation of Indian Industries. During this time, we worked diligently to develop organizational policies and a 10-year plan that established the foundation for what happened next in 2007. In 2007, with the support of the Toronto and Regional Conservation Authority, or TRCA, on our side, a secretariat for the WorldGBC was formally established in Toronto, Canada. The province of Ontario, Canada also provided essential startup funding of over $1 million per year for 3 years. This put WorldGBC on the map, both physically, with office space in Toronto, and globally, because it helped us grow the number of GBCs around the world. But this was just the beginning. We dreamed big with our 100-100-100 strategy, where we hope to see 100 million people engaged, 100 green building councils created, and $100 million raised. We knew that if we were going to meet this vision, we needed a way to get closer to our members. So in 2009, WorldGBC launched 5 regional networks and 3 membership levels: prospective, emerging, and established. This facilitated the growing interest in membership globally. While our official office was in Toronto, our CEO, Jane Henley, was based in New Zealand, GBC, and our new regional networks enabled us to reach further internationally and bring sustainable buildings to everyone, everywhere. In 2009, with the support of GBC Australia, the Asia Pacific Regional Network drafted its first committee charter. In 2010, the Emirates GBC, Jordan GBC, and Qatar GBC met in Singapore to discuss the creation of Middle East and North Africa Regional Network. GBCs across the Americas met in Chicago to discuss the regional network model. GBC South Africa hosted the first Africa Regional Network meeting in Cape Town. And our Europe Regional Network employed its first-time regional manager with meetings in Budapest, Stuttgart, and Bologna. 2010 also gave rise to our Corporate Advisory Board, a group of leading companies supporting our vision with strategic market insights and critical resources. By 2012, the number of member green building councils had grown from 9 to 71. 2013 was an important milestone for our global network as our collective voice grew stronger and we launched our first ever global report, The Business Case for Green Building. This report was the first in its kind with such a global scope. Using rigorous research, we were able to undoubtedly show that green buildings were producing financial value for stakeholders across the built environment. One of the key findings was a significant gap between the actual cost premium for green buildings and what the market perceived cost premiums to be. This helped raise greater awareness about an important perceived barrier. This was also the point in time where we saw a surge in interest in the health and well-being benefits of sustainable buildings, which led to the launch of our Better Places for People program in 2013. In 2015, under the leadership of CEO Terry Wills, the board agreed a 3-year strategy for the organization with 5 key areas of focus: membership, regional networks, projects and partnerships, marketing, communications and influence, and governance and operations. The next few years saw the launch of our Advancing Net Zero Global program and the operationalization of the regional networks with dedicated staff and governance employed across all 5 regions. Our 2017 report was a tide-changing moment in our movement's ambition and thought leadership. Titled From Thousands to Billions, Coordinated Action Towards 100% Net Zero Carbon Buildings by 2050, it led a shift in gears from a focus on sustainable buildings to providing the benefits of decarbonized, healthy, and resilient built environments, and called on industry to step up. At the Global Climate Action Summit in 2018, thousands of leaders from all sectors of society showcased their climate action and pushed each other toward bolder solutions. We proudly launched the WorldGBC Net Zero Carbon Buildings Commitment at this event. Between 2010 and 2020, the number of our member GBCs grew by 68%. The collective number of all their individual members increased by 70%, and we saw a 1,000% increase in the cumulative area of buildings certified as green by our GBCs. In 2020, under the leadership of our CEO, Christina Gamboa from Columbia GBC, WorldGBC launched an exciting new strategy that unified our network around 3 impact areas with visionary goals and delivery pathways for how we'll get them. As the global pandemic began, we couldn't have imagined what lay ahead for our industry and the world. However, our network proved to be more resilient than ever. In-person events became online events, and in 2021, our GBC trained nearly 50,000 people and reached over 3 million people. On top of this, by 2022, the Net Zero Carbon Buildings Commitment reached 156 signatories, with several more in the pipeline. The last 20 years bear witness to what we can achieve if we work together, and we can take great pride in our accomplishments. I'd like to thank the hundreds or even thousands of people who have contributed to the growth and success of this network. Far too many people to recognize them all individually. They include the founders of the WorldGBC and its member and emerging councils, chairpersons, past board members, the CEOs, the staff, the green building councils around the world, the industry partners and sponsors, and the many organizations who have been our partners along this journey. The passion, dedication, and resilience of our movement and its leaders around the world is driving market transformation that benefits our communities, our economies, and all life on the planet. We have accomplished a great deal in a scant 20 years, but despite all this impressive progress, our work is far from over. I congratulate you and wish you all the best during the WorldGBC Plus 20 Leadership Summit. As we reflect on what we've accomplished so far, we must also use this opportunity to take stock, strategize, collaborate, and continue accelerating sustainable built environments for everyone, everywhere. The planet is counting on us. Good luck.